So I did a study and looked at some of the headlines that are coming out from the news media. And I wanted to get together with Michael to really just talk about the fear that is being perpetuated by the media, and really for us to make a decision here at One Rental at a Time. Are we going to listen to that, or are we going to choose a different narrative and as a result take different action? But just listen to some of the things that are coming out from the media. Fox Business says the majority of Americans fear a recession is coming, survey says. I love that because, yeah, a recession is coming. Maybe it isn't. How severe will it be? But do we have to fear it, or can we just acknowledge it and choose a different emotion? Here's another one. New York Times: world leaders meet as global economy faces multiple threats. This is a hostage situation. High inflation, food insecurity, and a possible global recession loom large as a group of 20 summit discussions begin. The Economist said this: even a global recession may not bring down inflation. The world economy is slowing dangerously. And here's what entrepreneurs said. Like, I'm not a big fan of labels. Maybe you were labeled as a child. You had people speak labels over you. Here's how Entrepreneur has labeled 2023. 2023 is the year of fear and uncertainty. Like, listen, you can name your year that, but Entrepreneur, I refuse that label. Like, I'm not going to give into fear and uncertainty. So, Michael, I'm just curious. There's this major narrative, and I know that we're on the same page. We're not talking about sticking our head in the sand or going into denial. But I think this is kind of toxic. Like, I don't know how helpful it is to be just in this place where I believe there's an onslaught coming against people as it pertains to projected fear. What do you think?
Yeah. Well, I think this is predictable. If you watch my channel, which I know you do, I've been talking about getting ready for a recession for about 9 months. And again, for me, it's acknowledging it's coming. It's making sure you have the reserves just in case. And most importantly, it's about building wealth. It has long been said, and it will be said again when this one is over, more wealth was generated in the recession. Why? How does that happen? Well, folks, there's a lot of people that come into a recession that are over their skis. They have too much debt. They have too many toys. They are, cash poor. They're not prepared, and they start discounting things. And it always happens. So one of the things that I love, I actually called it. I read an article, I think it was Yahoo Finance, that said only 13% of home buyers think it is a good time to buy a home. And what did I say on that day? I said, here it is. I'm going shopping because 87% of my competition has left the building. It is time to go. And I called it out that day that happened. I think it was in October or November. And I've been here before. And here's the deal. A recession is always coming. It is a natural part of the business cycle. Forest fires always happen. It's a natural part of the forest, the clearing the underbrush. These are not things to be afraid of. They are to be appreciated. They are to be respected. But you should take advantage of it. What does Warren Buffett tell us all the time? Right? When the tide goes out, we see who's swimming naked. Who was swimming naked here recently? FTX, Celsius, right? Bed Bath & Beyond. There's all these things that were swimming with debt, and they need to go bye-bye. Bankruptcy is a part of this. They are taking dollars that should be allocated and used elsewhere inappropriately, and they should be punished. So I like recessions. I am encouraged by them. This is probably my third or fourth natural one. The first one freaked me out, as it always does. The others made me who I am today. And I think they're wonderful. They're a clearing process. And it's when you buy assets. It's when the strong get stronger. And what I'm telling people today, no matter what business you're in, if you're in tech, if you're in real estate, if you're in content, focus on being a good operator. So many people the last 2 years got lucky, got lazy, got cocky, and they're going to get hurt. It's the operators, the consistent focus, get tight. they're going to dominate and they're going to come out so much stronger in 2 years. I'm excited. I'm glad there's those headlines because I just naturally turn them over because there goes 2% of my competition. There goes my competition. It's just a wonderful place to be.
I was reading a book called Attributes by Rich Davini, who's a retired Navy SEAL commander. And he talks about these essential attributes that help us have optimal performance. And of course, one of those is courage. And we have three options in 2023. We can either fight, we can either run, flight, or we can freeze. And he described freeze as actually vacillating between both. We're like, oh, I want to go do something. I'm ready to study my buy box. Oh, but I'm not going to take the leap and actually make that final piece of risk, actually, move forward on the deal. There's risk in everything, right? I mean, if you follow your course, like you could probably have it be pretty solid, but there's always going to be risk. You never know what you're going to get. When my wife and I bought our first home, even after an inspector used it, we had black mold breakout in one bathroom and then the second. And so there's just going to be risk. Stuff's going to happen. Yeah. But definitely the people who are going to win in 2023 are not the people who freeze, are not the people who run the other direction, but the people who fight. Yes, caution and wisdom is essential, but you're never going to score a point if you don't stay on offense. And so for me, Michael, one of my biggest things is protecting my mindset. I think that those with an unbreakable mindset, those that invest in protecting their spirit, their mind, their emotions, and keep an empowered, strong mindset. Because if you take bold, wise, strategic action over the next couple of years, you're absolutely right. You could be set up for decades. And if most, like you said, 87% of people are just sitting at home, worried and afraid, they're frozen and running the other direction. And so those who stay on offense and choose to fight are going to have the spoils of war. And actually, I think media, we are declaring war on fear. We just talked about it yesterday on a staff meeting. I was like, there is a dragon we are called to slay. Its name is fear. And as a team, we need to help our community, our podcast listeners, those that are part of our course, everybody, we need to help them stay in bold, courageous action because they're going to have untold opportunity when they choose to not run the other direction, not to freeze, but to fight.
Yeah. And again, I think what you're doing at Think Media is kind of the tip of the spear for a lot of people, because again, having the courage, just press record, it unlocks everything. So I think having you slay that dragon of fear is awesome. Look forward to seeing what's coming there. But you're going to drag so many people along because, again, I think people naturally want to fight. But when there's unknown or uncertainties, freezing is so easy. It's so easy. And again, I've been here before. I bought a lot of my real estate from 2007 through 2012. And the time that was the best for me was 2010. Nobody was around. Everybody was frozen. We were buying properties sub 40 grand that were actual houses, not lots. And like people are like, they're going to go to zero. I'm like, they're going to go to zero? Really? I could sell the lumber and make more than this. I mean, so again, I think it is so easy for people to freeze. And I think by attacking fear at Think Media and encouraging and acknowledge just one more step, it's going to help a lot of people, whether it's that conversation we had about taxes, taking above the line, below the line. That might be enough of a reason for people to talk about peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Oh my God, you mean I could write off $1,000 a month above the line, which will save me 37 cents? Folks, you don't know we're talking about, watch video 3. I think there's so many things you're going to unlock for people at Think Media. It's going to be fun. Any ideas on how you're going to get this dragon down?
Yeah, I mean, for us, our company is an education company. Not unlike you inform us, you educate us. We're educating people on how to create content and then how to monetize it, but everything down to how to have confidence on camera. And the reason that's so important is a confused mind never buys. I heard that in sales. A confused mind never takes action. So you mentioned, it's fear and uncertainty. One of the things with uncertainty is it isn't just stand in the mirror and shout affirmations. It isn't just, I'm just going to try to stir up courage. I think getting educated is key, because when you actually don't just, when you're confused, you freeze. But once you start to see, oh, there's a plan and there's steps to this and there's a system to this. I think about a lot of our community, maybe they're married couples and one person gets a vision to want to start a YouTube channel, start being a content creator. Chances are the other person in your family, not maybe neutral or more likely negative.
Correct.
But that doesn't, I actually wouldn't put them down. Oh, they're just doubting me. They don't believe in my dreams. No, they don't understand.
Exactly.
They don't understand that what is the real math in the industry, in the sense of just influencer marketing, for example, has been going up about $3 billion a year. That every year brands are paying influencers, aka content creators, could be Squarespace, could be NordVPN, could be a loan product, it could be Zillow, it could be different brands. How much money is coming into the creator economy to pay people that have a channel like yours or mine or a podcast? It's exponentially exploding even in the recession. Last year, it went up $3 billion, something like $19 billion a year. And that is one of 51 different monetization streams we talk about. And so for those, a confused mind doesn't take action. A confused mind stays in fear. When you don't just get your mindset right in terms of, I got to be bold, John Wayne, courage is being scared to death, but saddling up anyways. But it's not about just running into battle with no plan. Sun Tzu, the author of The Art of War, more than an author, really the military general about 2,000 years ago, famous for that book and all the strategy in there, said every battle is won before it's even fought.
Yeah.
So that means we actually sat down and created a plan. We sat down and actually thought through, okay, what happens if this happens? Okay, we could do this. What are the time resources, human resources? What is the potential? I encourage our people, if you're going to start a YouTube channel, very easy to bootstrap and not very expensive, but you're doing it without a plan. If you wanted to go down to a local bank and say, hey, I'd love to get a small business loan, who knows? Maybe eventually a bank will give a content creator a small business loan. But I'll tell you one way they would not do it is if you go, well, I just kind of am thinking about, filming some videos. They go, well, what's your business plan? Oh, well, I mean, I wrote it on paper. Here's the name of the channel. Well, how are you going to make money? Well, I'm not sure. How are you going to, what are your projections of how it could scale? If this happens and X happens, I have no idea. A confused mind doesn't take action. Get educated. Yeah. I would say investing in yourself is the best investment you can make in 2023 to fight fear. Not just investing in your mindset, but investing in the practical know-how building blocks. Because once you start seeing the plan and all the pieces come together, you realize that this stuff is actually simple. It's not easy, but it's simple. If I know the steps and I can follow the steps, one run all the time's got 7 steps. Yeah. It's like learn those steps, master those steps, repeat those steps, and continue to do the steps. Then you're like, all right, if all I have to do is take a step, then I can do that one step at a time and start making progress toward my dreams, even in a down economy.
There you go. I think the answer is think media. I think there's a lot being there. I think fear, as you saw those 4 headlines, are out there. I just say acknowledge it, but realize where there is great fear, there's great opportunity. There's so much opportunity out there for you folks. Follow Think Media. They're encouraging you. They give you the answer. And Sean, I appreciate you coming back, buddy. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Michael.